when they learn a new language at the same time with mother tongues. It's only when this child himself or herself got some kind of special need, and especially some problem with his or her language. Like you say that you have a 3 years old kids, and then when you ask a Vietnamese teacher if he or she say speak Vietnamese, is there anything makes sense with his or her language, and the Vietnamese teacher say no. So I think that maybe this child need to be diagnosed, because at the 3 years old they actually can use the mother tongue to express their need, even if not clearly, but they know how to do it. And yes, and the children has an ability that the researcher find out that they have a very good ability in learning the new language, and they will not mix up the language at all if the adult consist in using the language. Right. So in different environment, language environment, the children will reflect to that environment by this language. So as long as the adults be consistent in using the language, the child has ability to switch the language very quick, and they will not mix up at all. It's only mixing up, it's only make kids confused when that adult also mix the language when they speak to the child. So if the child was born in the family who had daddy speak English and mommy speak Vietnamese, and they are just like that all the time, kids will never mix things up. Only when he or she cannot find that word in another language. So maybe they can ask father or mothers about what does it mean in this Vietnamese or on the other way around. But if the parents consist in using the same language, in different situation, the children will adapt to that language without any confusing. So from our role as a teacher of language and expert in this field, we should explain the parent in this way. Accept or not, believe or not, is actually their choice and their decision. But we show them what we know, and it's not from a perspective of ourselves. It's not from our own opinion. It's from the studying, it's from the research. It is recognized and is accepted in the world. So this is our task to explain them, because they wonder. We need to see what is the problem, and we show them how to fix up with it is a problem or not, and how to deal with it. And of course, the decision is from the parents. If they trust us, they will let the kids study, right? If they don't trust us, then they can ask another expert. They can look for the information from the internet. But this is our task to explain them. Okay? But thank you very much, Miss Debbie. I also agree and have some common point with you. And thank you for being enthusiastic all the time in the class. I appreciate that.
Thank you, teacher.
Yes, and so that is my story. And thank you very much, Miss Nicole Debienne. That she's very enthusiastic, and she's also give her idea how to deal with that situation in the class. How about Miss? Oh, I could see. I think a parent should know what they want for their kids. If a parent doesn't want his or her to study a second language, then they have the right to do so. But if they are seeking my professional opinion, I would say, once you accept or agree to put your kid in bilingual environment, then you should be ready to accept the consequence, both good and bad. But we hope to do good with the kids to make sure that they become better at studying based on the planned curriculum. Yes.
tụi tôi nè. Rồi con bé
If
này
the
nữa.
kids
Chơi
is
búp bay.
a normal
Nó
kids
cứ súng
that they don't have any problem with,
Câu nói
you know,
phải NH3
special needs, special care, or any problem with their own language. Like some kids have language delay. Some kids have some problem with pronunciation, remember the words. So I don't remember exactly the words for this kind of things. I already work actually with special needs for a few years. They have a special words.
Is it
Special
dyslexia,
phrase.
teacher? No.
Yeah, I don't
Dyslexia?
remember exactly. Yes, but if the kid is like normal kids, like other one, that is no problem at all. If we can let them study a new language at a young age. So, yeah, this is my story. And thank you very much, Mr. Ansu Samuel. Yeah, just tell them that they need to be consistent in using the language. They cannot just say, now everyone go for chuối banana, please. No. Oh, can you take me a cup of cha? No. If the parent, if we as a grown up using the language like that and we're mixing up like that, then the kid's gonna be confused. That's the problem. But as long as we know, as long as we're aware of using the consistent language with the kids, it's no problem at all. Okay, so I would like to invite Miss Trần Thị Linh. She would like to share her situation.
Hello,
Yes.
teacher.
Hello, I can hear you very
Okay.
clearly. Please go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. My problem is I had a student in grade 3 who usually forget how to read the words that I taught in class. Although in class he remembered, but at home he forgot to read, and her mother felt like I wasn't doing enough to help him. I listened as his mom talked about what he felt was missing in the classroom and what she wanted her son to be able to achieve. Before offering a solution, I told her I understood her concern and I could see her face relax. And then I give her some advice like her son has to listen my video in groups of my class, listen and repeat, then make video and send it to me. I will fix it if he has mistakes. Try to practice every day and it will be better. So even if we don't agree with what the parents say, we have to listen first, and empathy can often resolve a problem. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your story. It's a very nice one. And I could see that you are very supportive to the child and the parents. I think you actually put a lot of effort and your best in helping him.
Thank you.
Very nice story, Miss Linh.
Yes.
How about other teachers? You like to share your story?
Ammoniac là gì?
Ammoniac là meta là CH4.
Trời. Google.
Mình đóng rèm lại được mà đúng không?
Đây để Google.
NH3.
NH3 hả?
Thấy chưa? Tính ra tôi nói đúng tuyệt độc.
Tôn giáo không? Sở thích của nó gì? Nó thích màu gì? Thích ăn món gì?
Nó vô trì đến đúng 18 tuổi bị bắt cóc.
Okay, who would be the next one to share your story, please? I would like to invite Mr. Ansu Samuel. I also agree with him that sorry, as they let the child join the bilingual environment, they actually need to accept bad side and good side. But actually, we need to explain them what is the positive, what is the strength when the kids learn a new language at that age. Oh, he cannot share. Okay, then Mr. Ami Esmaili. My burning question though is how we teacher can involve and engage the student with different needs. Well, actually this is a really difficult issue. This is a top one. It's not only with language teacher, even they join in a normal activity with the kids, with like teacher in daily life, because they have special needs. They need to have a special care. So when you ask the question like how we as teacher can involve and engage the student with different needs intentionally, not name special needs in our class, well, it doesn't mean that they are not supposed to be there. So please tell me, if you have a special needs child in the class, then what do you do? Wow, this is very interesting. I really want to hear from you. So what do you do? Mr. Ami, what did you do?
Hi teacher, hey, I'm sorry if my voice is not very clear because I'm in the classroom, outside the classroom, and there might be commotion. My question is actually I don't know what to do. The problem is that parents do not want to accept that their students, their children have got different needs, and they would like to put their students into the same classroom. And as much as I would love to engage everybody in the classroom, I can see clearly that there is one student who cannot engage with others. There is one student who does not want to communicate with others, and it pains me not to see that one student cannot engage with others, and that's a question for me. I don't know what to do with that, and I would not call them a special needs, because to me personally, any classroom which is more than one student is a mixed ability classroom, and each student has got different needs and abilities, and we teachers are supposed to accommodate their needs. So I struggle to engage that one or two students in my classrooms.
Thank you for sharing your very interesting and very practical situation.
A teacher,
Yes.
just in case I'm getting misunderstood by the sentence that I wrote down, I want to explain my point of view. So, first of all, special needs mean 100 different things. We have naughty students
Exactly.
that are just their only problem is bad behavior. There is nothing wrong with them. They don't have anything. They're not in the autism spectrum. They don't have psychology problems. Nothing. Just their parents allow them to do everything at home, and when they go to class, they think they are the king. That's number one. So for all the teachers out there, and especially the new ones, and especially the ones teaching in public schools, if you're really interested, I would recommend you to talk to there is always a Vietnamese teacher, or if it's not, that it should be a Vietnamese teacher working with you. And I would talk to her and try to understand exactly what's the problem. Okay, because there's a huge misconception, and that's why I wrote that sentence, because this is actually a topic that means a lot to me, and it really makes me angry, because it's a topic that, just for you guys to have an idea, like autism is not yet recognized in Vietnam. It is not. It doesn't exist. Okay. So even if you have specialists, no one assumes that the kid is autist. And unfortunately, in my kindergarten, although we are Montessori, so although we have a different approach, we are not, and I repeat, we are not professionals in special needs. Okay? And just because we are Montessori, and just because we use a different method, we do have kids with special needs. And when I mean special needs, I'm talking about the diagnosed special needs. I'm talking about autism. I'm talking about ADHD. I'm talking about lack of concentration. I'm talking about a bunch of named diseases, which is not the case of a naughty child. And it also touches me a lot, because I do understand that, unfortunately, things in the case of especially problems in mental health are not subject in Vietnam, because even an adult things are changing and getting better, thank God, but still, if an adult expresses depression, it is usually rejected by their own family. Okay, it's not a thing that you could I don't know, there's a lot of women suffering from postpartum depression, and if they say that, they will probably be put inside of a room and go like, you drink and sleep and take care of the baby and be strong, because we were all strong. So we have to also have the mindset that, unfortunately, there's still not, well, first, there's not enough parents with enough information for themselves. I'm not even talking about their child. So for themselves, they don't know. Second, there's a lot of parents and, let's say, like, old mind thinking teachers that whatever naughty child, they point to the head and they go like, oh, teacher, this one is crazy. And they use the word crazy. Like, I remember when I arrived to Vietnam, a teacher telling me that, and I was shocked. I was like, do you know what word you're using? Crazy. We don't say that. And I will shut up, because otherwise I will be the one giving the lesson. But yeah, that would be my advice. Unfortunately, it's super difficult. I'm dealing with that, like, with real problems. And actually, I do have in my curriculum a certificate of autism, and I do know a lot of psychology and these things. But unfortunately, if the own parent doesn't have that information, there is nothing you can say, because they will not understand. They don't get it. And it's actually an offense, because it's like, what, are you telling me my son is crazy? No, sir. I'm telling you, your son is sick. Sick what? No, he's breathing. He doesn't have a flu. Everything is okay. And I'm like, no, sir. He has problems in his head. And it's usually an offense. So I hope I helped anyone sharing this, because I wish I had someone telling me this when I arrived.
Thank you very much for your sharings. Yes, I do agree with you, Miss Nicole, that we need to be, specific between the children with different needs and the children have a special need, because this is a huge different concept. The children with special need, as you mentioned, at diagnosis had some problem, right? Like ADHD, like autism. So they not only have different needs, but they need a special care, a special one, the expert in this field of education to support them. When I was an early childhood educator, which is 7 years ago, I worked in a practical kindergarten that belonged to the college. And next to the kindergarten there is a center where we call early intervention center. So the people working there, they work with different
Dạ. Nãy giờ làm gì? Cháu nghe đùng đùng vậy?
different
Dạ,
kind
em
of
khoan tường á để treo cái dây chuyền lên. Với lại sẵn tiện á,
diagnosis.
khiêng cái bồn nước lên lầu này để thay
Like
bồn nước mới.
some they
Chứ
work
hả,
with
cái
the
bồn nước cũ
children with
cặn không
autistic. The other one work with children who has language delay. Some work
Nói gì
with
kỳ vậy?
ADHD.
Tại sao trên đời
So when
này
we
lại
mention
có
the
cái ý nghĩa
children
công
with
việc đó dành cho
special
đàn ông?
needs, we mentioned about these children that they really need a special care, really need the people who understand about their situation and have special and support to the children. So,
chồng em nè đã đi ra ngoài ăn nhậu.
come back to the questions of Mr.
Tất cả những công việc ở nhà còn lại phải thuộc về em chứ. Em không biết là cái khái niệm công việc nhà của phụ nữ bây giờ
Ansu
như thế nào.
teacher,
Chứ
it
với
was
em
Mr.
Yeah,
Ansu.
Mr. Ansu.
từ sửa điện
Mr.
nước nè,
Ansu,
rồi
I really
khoan
want
tường
you
nè, đóng đinh,
to
hay
be,
thậm chí là phụ
you
hồ
know,
nữa. Đó là những công
to be
việc ở nhà chứ.
specified in the children with different needs. And like Miss Nicole said, some children they just, you know, they are the center in the at home, and they can do anything they want. So they have some kind of misbehavior. That doesn't mean that they have a special needs. But if the children who have special needs, then it's serious.
Hello, teacher.
Yeah.
For the purpose of my company, I will not name any names.
Yeah.
But what's happening in my class, for instance, is when it's for English, when I go to the classrooms, the kids are there. But when it's time for actual Montessori, there is a special teacher who comes to the school to deal with these kids.
Yes.
That's how I know
Wow.
they are kids with special
Yes.
needs.
But that's also
So they have special needs.
Exactly.
They are. Yeah.
That's how I know, because as a teacher, I have a background in social work, a background in psychology. I can just assume that a kid has got A, B, and C, but I do not have the right because I do not do the diagnosis, and I cannot emphatically or categorically suggest to even my principal or to a parent that student A or student B is suffering from AD, HD, or maybe other.
no, it's not. It's not you, but your principal should. It's
That's
not
what I'm
you.
saying. So
Right.
how I do my work based on my level. I am a teacher. So if my
Right.
principal, so this is my problem. My problem is the kids are in my class during English lessons, but when it's time for Montessori, they have a teacher who supports them. So how am I supposed, or why is it assumed that English is just like a normal course that a kid can just be there regardless of their behavioral trait or like their developmental stage? I hope you understand. That is the dilemma. That's the situation I find myself in.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I have
really
the
dilemma.
same. Yeah, I have the same, and I would say the issue is money.
All right.
And I cannot say anymore because I will also start naming schools, and we don't want to do that. But Ansu,
Exactly.
if you want to talk, send me a private message. I can tell you more about it.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. So teacher, I would say maybe my case is similar to Emir's case. That's one of the major concerns. But I kind of understand because when I came here in 2019, I worked in one different city, and then in that city there were some schools that I went to which were very, very specific, meeting different kids at different level with different needs. And then I realized that in that community, most of the kids that were kind of like special in a way, parents did not want to take them to those schools because it was like kind of like a stigma or because of the labeling, you know. So some parents still try to maneuver, find their way if they are friends or very close to relatives, or if they have relatives who are really powerful, they still try to find their way. I don't know how, to make sure the kids do not go to these schools where they can actually get the right help, but they would be in the mainstream educational unit. Yeah, that's what I think it's happening sometimes too.
Đi, vô có đồ ăn kìa. Rồi anh tới.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your situation. I think it's a big issue right now in every kindergarten.
Thì mày hảo hảo anh thích
And we
đó.
can see
Mà đó giờ
that
anh xem mày
the
anh
increasing
bảo gì?
number of children who have special needs, and I don't know why. But I also experienced that, and I mentioned, and even it's like 7-8 years ago, that still in every class they had 1 or 2 children. As you mentioned, always one teacher or 2 teachers follow them because they need
Em thấy bình
a
thường
special
mà,
help,
cái gì đâu
special
sướng anh. Chồng em
care.
ra ngoài làm á, đi
So,
nhìn vậy thôi chứ chưa
yes,
chắc đã no.
and this
Trong
there
khi
is
đồ ăn
actually a
em
very
sẵn
big
nè. Mỗi
discussion
lần mà
that
nhân viên em
should
thích ăn mì á là em mix một kiểu
people
khác nhau.
opens
Nào là bò,
the
gà, rồi rau củ
school
quả nữa.
for integrated education or shouldn't.
Đâu có đâu, em lấy tiền
This
của em
is
ra
actually
trả
not a
được mà.
discussion. It's a big argument here in Vietnam. And as Miss Nico already mentioned, not all the parents accept it. Even they know that it might be something happen with their kids, but they don't accept it. Even I work for the practical kindergartens, and we have the expert who make a diagnosis for the children if they have a special needs, and the principal need to invite them to the kindergarten sometime, because after observe their behavior, their attention, their eye contacts, their language, and so on. So they also advise the parents and invite the expert to diagnose the kids, but not all the parents accept it. And that kindergarten is open for integrated education, that they try to involve all the children with special needs with the children, the normal children. But so far, when I was there and when I observed, it doesn't work really well. It's because sometimes it's really difficult for both of the kids. And also there is a conflict among the parents about this. Like I was a very serious child with special needs. He got autism, but also has ADHD. So it's really, and he was a child of the teacher in the kindergarten. So she's actually was there and observed him. But even she sent the child to the early intervention center that I mentioned in the beginning, but it doesn't work. He didn't get a big improvement. So there was a lot of conflict. There was a lot of conflicts among the parents that should he stay in the class with other children, because all the time when it's raining, all the time the weather changes, his behavior is really uncontrolled, and he makes a very weird noise, and it's really, I mean, I don't want to say that, but it's really affect the other children. The children didn't have nap time because he's making noise all the time, and even he has specialists follow him to calm him down, help him out, take him to the yard, make him calm down. But it seemed that didn't work, doesn't help him a lot. So having the kids in an integrated education is still a big argument here in Vietnam. I don't know how about in other countries, but it's sometimes out of knowledge to really make something that can involve all the children, because we're not expert in this field. We don't know. We don't know about what exactly we need, what kind of interventions that we need to work with the kids. Why we also need to take care about other children too. As you mentioned before, if the children have different needs, then we have a different way of dealing with that situation. But if the children really have a special needs, then we need to involve the special needs. And if we really need, if we really want to have the kids, then we really need to cooperate well with their parents and the specialists who follow this child. And also we need to learn about the problem of the child too.
Mời bạn.
then we can think about how we can involve the kids in the class.
Người vợ rất là hung dữ.
So
Yes,
it's my
teacher,
own
but-
experience.
Đòi ăn cái gì?
But that's exactly the
Tìm
problem.
nó cho bằng được.
It's
Mỗi lần
that
nó muốn em làm cái gì?
that's exactly the problem is
Lời.
they are putting these kids. I'm talking about the ones diagnosed. I'm not talking about the other ones because it doesn't matter.
Bữa đó nó giật
Put
cho,
them
hành sốt mấy
together
bữa,
with
chịu
the
không
other
nào.
classes,
Giật là giật làm sao?
with other
Vợ chồng
children.
nhau, chúng ta giải quyết bằng lời nói, bằng tranh
It's
luận.
not even fair. Like
Tại sao đem nhau ra
the
trước
other
vậy được?
kids are,
Hiểu.
well,
Chứ
first
mỗi lần mà nó
already
hiện
getting
báo
used
về
to
là nó làm cái gì là đủ đầy cúng
a
kiến.
style of teaching or things that are horrible to see that they shouldn't have
Vấn đề
to.
tâm linh.
Second,
Qua lớp thầy Nam, thầy đó sẽ
their ability of learning decreases by at least 50% because obviously if the class is interrupted
Nó dễ mà.
every 10 minutes because we have an autistic kid
Rồi hai người
or
cứ
an
liên kết
ADHD
nói chuyện, phải giải nó
and we don't have anyone
ở đây
specialist in that area, obviously it takes
mời qua lớp
more than one
Thầy Nam
teacher
nói gì?
to try and to calm those kids down. And then we don't have enough teachers to keep the class going. So this is an issue that could last for like 2 days of conversation. But my honest question, teacher, is why is it so shameful or so bad in the Vietnamese culture
Chúng ta chào lại,
to talk about
chương trình,
mental health?
chính quy của chúng ta ngày hôm nay.
Like I thought things would be a little bit more developed, at least here in Ho Chi Minh. Like, why is it still? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I understand your questions.
Okay, so like, why is it? I can't understand.
I never asked the question like that for myself. Maybe because I live in this culture. Well, this is really interesting. But I never asked these questions for myself. But what I observe from my own experience working with both the children, because I told you I work in the kindergarten where they try to integrate the children with special needs because they think that it's unfair for this child to be, excluded. So they want to involve them, they want to include them, and they hope that the kids, normal kids, can understand and respect the uniques and learn how to share, learn how to be like sympathize.
They do the same in my school, but which is totally wrong.
Exactly.
You're putting the pressure on kids.
Exactly.
To
Yeah.
They hope that the normal
is the problem for the both kids. I could
yes, of
see
course,
that.
especially because the other ones deserve their
Yeah.
own space.
Exactly. Yes. But that's why I said it's an argument among people who working with the children with special needs, and on the other way around thinking. But when you ask about why it's so shameful when talking about mental health, I think, it's really something generation. When you mention about mental health, you're talking about something abnormal,
Right.
especially in the way you think.
Mhm.
And in the society, as you can see, that the Vietnamese, I think they are quite positive people. We have a very bad war in the past, but then we get over it and we try to live positively. And then the society is developing. Our country is a developing country. So you can see a lot of expectation from the parent, and it's come from generation to generation. Just like my parents expected me to become a teacher, a doctor, because their past is too miserable.
But exactly. I understand. But following that logic, then parents expect the best and the better way for their kids. Exactly. So why the parent doesn't go? Because I do have, that's the thing, I do have, and that's the story that I wanted to share. I do have an autistic child that I've been following for 3 years, and after so he was in the school more years, and last year one of the teachers was able to convince the parents, I have no idea how, to start giving him treatment, and he did, and he's totally changed, and it's awesome, and it's like you cry just to see the progress that he has done. So that's exactly my question. Parents want the best for their kids, then who cares whatever is wrong with him? The plan is to fix, is to accept, is to provide better environments. And I think that the thought is a little bit the other way around, you know? We integrate, but with tools and with right skills, you know, not giving them with English teachers that have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that's true. But it's because of the pressure that the parents have, and because of the control birth, we only have 1 or 2 children, and the children always the prize of the parents, and they are like the mirror of the parent. They show how the parent care about the kids, how they grow the kids, how they teach the kids. So sometimes they thought that if you look at the kids, you know about their parent. So this is really difficult for the parent to accept that their kids is, I'm sorry to say, but abnormal, that they have something wrong and needs a special care. I met many parents refuses because for them, their children is brilliant. Yes,
but it is like, brilliant in their own way.
Exactly. But it's really difficult for them to accept that someone look at that and say that they are different from other one. And different, when they mean it, they say it's mental, you know, mental health related. It's not easy for the parent to accept it. Many parents disappointed, and one of my colleagues that I already mentioned that he had a child that I already told you in the story. Now she doesn't want to give birth anymore. She only raised 1 kid because she's afraid of having another kid had the same problem, and they thought that it should be something with their genes. Yeah. So I think it's very difficult, especially in the community where everyone compete to each other. Yeah, sometimes I don't want to send my kids to have an extra class, but my close friends said that, her daughter had played piano very well, even just learned for 3 months now, and she can do like this, like that. And then one of my other friends said that their kids sent to the dancing club, and the other one learned RLs, and the other one learned swimming. So sometimes you don't want to be influenced by the others, but you are influenced. So it's really difficult for them to accept that someone tell you that your child is different from other. It is sometimes unacceptable, especially when you only have 1 or 2 kids. You cannot have more. So the kid is the bride, the dream, the expectation, the future, especially in the culture of Vietnam. Yeah, like my grandparents lived with my parents until they passed away. They don't send them to the...
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like kids is the future. Kids is caregiver of you in the future. Their prize, their expectation. That's why they put all the love, they put all the things they have, you know, to the kids to raise them
investment,
up. Yeah, exactly. And that's why we have some kids with misbehavior because they are the center of the universe. But so I think it's
is there any autistic course in Vietnam?
Yes. From my own experience, I could see that let's say it's around 10 years ago, autistic is something very new for everyone. But now like my
Bây giờ các em
friends,
làm theo thầy một
like
lần cuối.
even they don't work in the field education. They aware about autistic children. And
Rất hay, rất hay. Các em chỉ cần để động tác hành động này.
they aware, and in the world I think they have the autism awareness day. And first, the parents, they're very shy. They feel very ashamed to share about the story of their kids. They think it's very shameful because they have the kids. They don't want to tell the story. They just support the kid by themselves. But we could see that every year the number is increasing. And because I work in the college, I work with the early intervention center, and every year we have the volunteer coming. We have the workshop. We have so on about the children with special needs, and by that I could see the communities of parents who have the children have the same issue. They start to talk to each other. They create a network. They support each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that here where I live in Hanoi, but I don't know if it's, of course it is a big city, and it's easier to approach to the variety of informations, and it's easier. But for some people, like as you mentioned, they think it's it's a DC, and they don't accept it. So it's really difficult. I think they need more time. They need more time to work in this field, to open the eyes of people around. Yes, I still remember like 10 or 8 years ago when you talk about autistic kids, then people would just ask, what is autistic kids? Is that the kids is normal? But I could see right now many people around me talking about it. They respect more, and they learn more about it, and I could see the number of kids also increasing too. So I don't know why. I'm not an expert in this field, but yeah, I think it's time that everyone need to concern about it.
Thank you very much, teacher, and sorry for taking you out of topic.
Thank you very much for sharing, because it is happen. Yes, I experienced it, and I was struggling too. I didn't know how to have the kids. Sometimes I just give up because I don't know how to really, and because they have the specialist follow them in the class, so sometimes I just let them do their task. And because at that moment, the principal and the director of the early intervention early intervention center has an agreement on cooperating and try to integrate the kids. So we can't do other thing. Yeah, sometimes I think I feel really pity for the kids. Okay. But thank you very much for sharing, Mr. Ansu, and thank you for sharing to Mr. Debbie and Miss Nicole. Okay, is there other situation, please?
Rồi nấu cơm chưa?
Anh ngồi đây nghỉ đi, em vô em nấu cơm cho.
Khỏi nấu, đi ăn nhà hàng.
Thì thay đồ đi rồi đi ăn nhà hàng.
Không ăn nhà hàng nữa. Đưa anh
And for my college right now, she has something to hope, because the boy is growing up and he's very good at drawing. So he can draw a beautifully picture, and he can make the gallery, and he can sell the picture. So actually my college, she's okay now. I feel lucky for her finally.
Well, sometimes what we don't expect, then we get a surprise, and sometimes it's a good one.
Yeah, I still remember how she was so disappointed when she looked at her child eating the crayon in the class. I cried too. And he thought it's a snack. I cried a lot when I saw it.
Chuyện của cậu tới đâu rồi?
Chưa đâu vô đâu á thầy ơi.
Chưa hiểu lắm.
Thì em cũng làm theo thầy.
Okay, how about the other story, please?
Không cố gắng ngầu cả ngày luôn. Nhưng mà tiếc một cái là Em với bồ em chưa cưới, nên mỗi người ở nhà, mà nay nó sống.
Trời ơi, tại sao ngay từ đầu ngoài cái chuyện cậu bị nhát cái ra, cậu còn không cho tôi
No more story.
có kinh nghiệm hay chưa?
Okay.
Tôi sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn nhanh chóng qua bài tập thứ hai. Đó là bài tập về quỹ lương của chúng ta.
I thought you will have many situations to share here so we can learn from each other. But it seems that you are very busy.
Cho bạn mượn tiền.
No.
Giấu tiền luôn.
Này giấu tiền mới vô đây nè. Nếu muốn giữ tiền, chúng ta phải đánh vào tâm lý
Okay.
của người phụ
So
nữ.
if you don't have any situation to share and learn from each other, I think that we can
Nhìn em,
have a class of early today. Okay? And have a nice weekend to all of you. And I will see you in the other class.
là em nên mua bảo hiểm đi.
Okay?
Yên tâm.
Thank
Có
you very
ông bà
much,
này,
teacher.
bảo hiểm.
My pleasure always. I don't know that the class is so silent today. It's only Miss Nicole and Mr. Ansu and me talking. That's sad.
Chỉ là anh yêu em thôi.
À, anh
Okay.
tới rồi kìa.
Chào cả nhà.
So have a nice weekend, everyone.
Ủa, hai người quen nhau hả?
Enjoy your early up. Goodbye.